welcome back to another week of Makeup-ish with Merblade. Today is actually, surprisingly, makeup related. So I posted a picture on my Instagram, I think a couple days ago, and it got like 140 something likes on it. So I figured you guys really liked my makeup that day. I literally took off all of that makeup and put it back on my face again. It's just like a dark smoky eye. There's no wing or anything, which is funny because I'm notorious for always having winged eyeliner. I was following another YouTuber's tutorial, and I will link her in the description down below. So make sure you go if you like this look, then go and like her tutorial on it, because that's literally what I followed. Hopefully I'm as informative as she is, honestly, because I don't really know how to talk during these things. My video this week was actually going to be a Merblade makeup tutorial, like how I usually do my bout makeup and stuff. But since I don't have all of the makeup that I usually use for my bout makeup, I was like, well, screw it. I'll just make that video eventually whenever I get back home. I'm probably gonna get a bunch of fucking hate from other beauty gurus or whatever, because like I don't do things the way that they usually do, or I don't know the names of these makeup brushes and stuff. I don't know. So, I mean, I'm just literally trying my best. I think it's funny to watch myself teach myself how to fucking do this stuff after I swore I knew how to do makeup before, until like contouring came into play and highlighter and all that crazy shit, because I had nothing to do with it until now. Let's get to the video of me actually doing my fucking makeup, and sorry about the long ass intro. Okay, so I actually went ahead and primed my face with a Smashbox Primer. So I'm actually going to use the Revlon Colorstay concealer. This is the first time I've ever used this stuff. Okay, so I usually use the Kat Von D Lockit concealer, but I ran out of that, so now I'm going to use this Revlon Colorstay in the light pale, and it looks like this. So what I want to do is highlight my eyes a little bit, and also put it on any sort of pimples on my face. I also want to go ahead and put it up on my lid up here, just so that it gives it a little bit more definition when I go in with that eyeshadow and it really pops. I mean, the only disadvantage about this stuff is that it really kind of runs a little bit. So, I mean, I'm trying to use as less as possible so it's not so runny. I had to move the camera a little bit closer so you guys could get a little bit of a better view. Okay, now that we've put a bunch of white shit all over our face, let's blend it in. So I'm just gonna use a little beauty blender here and just dab it in. Okay, so now that I look like a ghost, what we're gonna do now is actually put our eyebrows on. Now we're gonna use Easy Breezy Brow. I talked about it in my other video, and it's in rich brown, and it looks like this. So I'm just gonna go with my natural brow line pretty much and just fill it in that way so that it gives me a little bit more of a natural look. So now what I want to go ahead and do is go in and clean up what I've done here, because they obviously don't even look like sisters, they don't look like twins. There is something going on here and it ain't right. So we'll just go through and clean it up with a little bit of an angled brush. And what I'm gonna do, I'll show you that. What I'm gonna use to clean it up with is I'm going back to the Revlon Colorstay concealer. So I'm just gonna take a little bit and put that on my brush and go through and clean up my brows. Okay, now we can finally move on to eyeshadow. So I'm actually using the Shade and Light eye palette. by Kat Von D. So the first color that I want to take is this little peachy color right here on the corner. And I'm going to take this little brush here, this side. This is actually an Urban Decay brush. I don't know what kind it is. It came in the little Alice in Wonderland palette that they had. But it's a double-sided brush. Looks like this. So like this side is a little, I don't even know what the fuck this kind of brush is called, but, and then this side is a little fluffy side. So I'm gonna take the fluffy side and take that peachy color. You dab off that excess and go in that crease in my brow bone a little bit. So don't forget to blend this into your brow bone a little bit. The fluffier brush, the better for this technique, just so that it blends in a little bit better and easier for you. You just don't want that harsh line at the top of your crease. I'm still learning how to blend eyeshadows myself, so this is taking some practice for me too. The next step we're going to use is this side here, the little other side to the double-sided brush. I'm going to take this red and this brown color here and mix them together and put them like a little bit lower than we just put this little peachy color here. So I'm taking that and then I'll blend it out with the fluffier side of the brush. So taking those colors and mixing them together. So we take that red and brown and take it on the fluffier side. You don't need too much, just enough. And go a little bit lower. So right below this little peachy color and actually inside your crease is where you're gonna wanna put this. So this is how we're gonna do it. And right now, yeah, it's a harsher line, but I'm gonna go back through with the fluffier side of this brush and then blend it in with that peachy color. And this one you wanna drag a little bit further down into your crease here. So it looks really shitty right now, but now we're gonna take the fluffier side of that brush and now blend it in. On a lot of swirly motions. You're not just patting it on there. You're literally going in these little circular motions and then like getting up in there. Don't ever underestimate the crease color. I'm practically breaking my arm to blend this shit in to make sure that it stays that way, because these colors are gonna make that black just pop out even more. So blended this side, let's go on to this side. Okay, so now that we've blended this reddish brown into this peachy color, it looks like shit, yeah, I know, we're gonna clean it up. Now you're going to take this little bit of gray and this black here. You wanna use mostly gray on this and mix them together, but like I said, just use mostly gray. If you can, just like get a couple of dabs of black on, don't even like swipe your hand through, and then put the gray on. Because now we're going a little bit lower than where we just were before. So like you want to take it right here. We're not even on this white part here of the lid. We're literally just like right here. And if you guys are wondering like why we're using so many transition shades, it really does make a difference. So now we're just gonna blend that black and that gray into our colors here. Using that fluffy side of the brush. Don't forget, whenever you're blending, use that fluffy brush. Okay, so right now my eyes look insane. Yes, I know. But what I want to do for this part, now in her video, she actually used a cream-based brown eyeshadow. I don't have any of that fancy shit. So what I'm gonna do is literally go back to this fucking Revlon Colorstay concealer and just use that and just put it right where there shouldn't even be any eyeshadow. But since I'm not a pro and I do shit messy, this is what happens. And then I'm going to blend it out. not with a brush. I'm gonna use a smaller version of a beauty blender here, and I'm just gonna make sure that it's just all set in there and there's no chunky parts or anything, and we can just easily put the black on top. So it just makes our life so much easier. Alright, so now we're going to go back to our lovely Kat Von D palette, and we're going to select our black, taking the same brush but not using the fluffy side yet. I'm using this side again. Taking it and putting it on my brush. Don't forget to tap off the excess. And of course you can get as much black on this one as you want, because you want this part to be so black it hurts your soul. Putting it where we put the concealer, and then we're gonna blend up so that it looks dark as shit. Those of you who are wondering how far I like to take the black up, I literally take it all the way through all the colors that we transition the shade with. Again, it was very important to use those transition shades because otherwise this black would not blend in very well. But anyways, what I do is I actually take it all the way up almost through the peach brow slash crease line that we did, and I just blend it right through there just to give it that sort of more in-depth look. Now what I want to do is go ahead and put my eyeliner on. Now you can do your eyeliner either way. I usually put it on top and bottom, especially like with this dramatic smoky eye. And I'm actually using Revlon Colorstay in black, the 201. Looks like that. And it has this cool little smudger which we're going to use for this look too. And it looks like that. So we're going to use that on our waterline. This is one of the better drugstore eyeliners in my opinion, mostly because it stays on like on your waterline. You don't have to worry about reapplying constantly. I'm just going underneath and just putting it on like that. We're gonna work on the bottom line, but first I want to get rid of some of this excess concealer because we got going on down here, because it's gonna make it harder for us to put this shit on and for it to actually stay if our under eye is all like wet and stuff with this concealer. So I'm just gonna blend it in a little bit more before I apply. And I usually just take my finger and pull it down a little bit. Well, 2 fingers. And I pull my eye down. And I just go. It's a really smooth application. Just drag it across my waterline. And then to make it sure that it's still even, just go back over like that. I messed up our concealer a little bit, which is fine because I mean all you have to do is put a little bit more on. Now for this, since it already has the little smudger on the end, I'm gonna take that part and I'm gonna like blend it in with my bottom line. So like we're smudging it, but literally just where it's already been applied to make it look like it's blended in with this rest of the smoky eye. We're gonna move on to false lashes. What I'm using here is just some Kiss lashes, and they look like this. They kind of remind me of wispies in a way. I just like to use the regular adhesive color. And I mean it dries, it'll dry whatever color you're putting it on anyway, so. But you don't want to add too much to the lashes because you want them to be able to be tacky whenever you put them on your eye, so that whenever they stick a lot better and they're not wet. And so this is about how much I use. I don't know if you guys can see that. I start from the outer corner and work my way in. I take it where the end of my eye is, put it on there, and just work my way down by pinching it on my lid. And you don't want to set these too high. You want to make sure that it lines up with your natural eyelashes, so you're literally just setting them on top of your natural eyelashes. So another way that I get it to pinch the closer I get to the inner corner of my eyes, I just take a pair of tweezers and I'll pinch them in like that. So, pinching them on, bending it, and pushing in. I'm pinching my lashes to the false lashes so they blend in a little bit better, so we don't have to just rely on the mascara when we go and put that part on. While we're waiting on those to dry, I'm gonna go ahead and put my foundation on just to fill out my face a little bit more. And I'm using the Kat Von D Lockit Foundation in medium warm. It's a little bit too dark for me right now, but I'm gonna put some powder on top to kind of give it a little bit more of a lightness to it. So, and I'm gonna take my beauty blender and blend it in. A lot of people forget to do is actually blend down their neck. So I'm gonna do that too. Just take a little bit of foundation, dab it a little bit on your beauty blender, and go down your neck. Now, what's the best way to tell whether or not you got your whole double chin and everything? Go like this. And blend it in. I'm not kidding, it fucking works. So what I want to do now is actually take a paper towel and clean up my neck a little bit. So what I'm going to do is take it from my neckline and drag it down to blend it in with everything else. Okay, so now I'm going to take this Revlon Colorstay powder in 830 light medium. Looks like this. And I'm going to put that all over my face to make it look, make my face look a little bit lighter, because this kind of turned my skin a little bit of a weird color. So, and it's definitely not my skin tone right now. Okay, so I'm taking that with just like a regular little brush here. I don't even know what you would call this. I guess a blending brush or something. I don't know. But I'm taking this fucking brush and I'm gonna put it on all over my face. Once again, make sure you blow and tap off excess. Now, as you can already tell, my foundation process is a hell of a lot different than the girl in the videos. It's just my personal preference. This is just how I like to do my makeup, and I mean, it blends really well, it still looks really good. So that's why it's a little bit different, and obviously we're using different products too. Now that we've done that part, I'm going to go ahead and give this whole fucking contour thing a try. Now the thing is that I don't actually have a contour kit, but I actually learned a trick before my great-grandmother passed away. She told me that you could use lipstick as like a blush, or I guess she would call it a blush, we call it contour, but you know, like it's along the same lines. So what I'm actually using is some of you are going to be really mad at me for this. I'm using Marc Jacobs J'adore. So from what I've learned in videos, people do this like number 3 thing with their face. But I don't know. I'm just gonna try it. So we're gonna do put it down there. Doesn't really look like a number 3 to me, but I'm just gonna blend that in with a beauty blender. Obviously, I'm very new to this whole contouring thing. As I said in my last video, my last makeup video that I don't do contour. But you know, it's growing on me a little bit. I'm trying to get used to it and try to shape my face a little bit more so that it looks better, I guess. Anyways, now I'm actually going to do highlighter. Yeah, I know, I'm doing all of the things. So this one is actually a Revlon Photoready Insta-Fix highlighting stick. And I'm just gonna put it on top of my cheekbones and work up a little bit, I guess. There's really no limit to where you can put your highlighter, so I'm just gonna put it wherever the fuck I feel like. And right here just seems like a good idea, I guess. Alright, so I know some people like put it on the tip of their nose and up their nose and stuff like that, so I guess we'll give that a go and then put it down here somewhere. I don't really know. I don't really want to highlight my chin or anything, so I'm not gonna put it there. I'll do it like on top of my upper lip. Right here is usually where I see people put it. Not that you can tell. And then the tip of my nose. I'm just taking my finger and blending it in. That's all I'm doing here. So I guess that's okay. And then go up my nose a little bit. I don't know why. I don't really want to highlight my nose, but okay. If you say so. The next thing that I'm going to do is put on some lip shit in Colorpop Point Zero. So it looks like this. It's kind of neutral, just whatever. I feel like I've already got a dark eye. We don't need to do an over dramatic lip. And my trick for this here, instead of actually using a regular lip liner, I actually use the same pencil that I use to draw my eyebrows on. So I take this little brown pencil and draw my lips. And I am literally just following how my natural lip looks. So I'm not trying to make it bigger, bolder, or anything. I'm literally just drawing in how my lips look normally anyways. Alright, so now we're gonna go back to our eyes. We're finally gonna put on our mascara. I'm actually gonna use Falsies by Maybeline, and I'm gonna use that to put it on. I had the Better Than Sex mascara, but unfortunately I ran out of that, so I'm not gonna be using that, and that's like my favorite mascara. You just don't want to put on too much and just make your eyelashes clumpy, so you just have to be really careful about how you apply. So I'm just gonna take it and just, I'm going from my lashes, working my way up to the false lashes. Another trick to use if you don't feel like your eyelashes look long enough, you can actually take your mascara and instead of applying it like this, go on top of the lashes and scoop up. Then it adds a little bit more oomph to it. Here's my face. Here's this look. I usually add a setting spray after I'm done, but since I ran out of that too, I didn't get to use it, unfortunately. This wasn't really that hard of a like look to do, honestly. If I was doing it the way that I did it back in high school, I would literally look like a raccoon right now. I don't really know how to describe things in words all the time, so I'm trying to like, I get frustrated with myself because I'm like, I know what I'm talking about, but I need other people to know what I'm talking about. How do I word this? How do I make this come out of my mouth? 90% of the time, I have no idea. So I'm just winging it for the most part. Hopefully eventually down the road I can be more informative for you guys. This is more of that kind of like messiness that I enjoy. I don't have to be too precise, but precise enough to be like, okay, yeah, that's a look right there. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye!